Hey guys, how's it going? Ricky Widmer here from Most Valuable Podcast, here to give you my top 5 pickups in fantasy football for week number 10. If you're new to how I do my top 5 pickups here on Most Valuable Podcast, these are guys that are found in 40% or less of ESPN fantasy leagues. So there is a chance, a pretty good chance, that you can snab one of these guys up this week, especially on a week where we're going to have some quarterbacks out, some running backs out, some good wide receivers out. Chargers and Colts being a few of the teams, 49ers, that have the bye this week. Let's go ahead and get to these pickups. If you need a running back, one of the guys you can pick up is Matt Jones, going up against the New Orleans Saints this week, owned in 37.1% of ESPN leagues. This is a pickup where if you need a running back, maybe you add Dion Lewis, who is now injured. Melvin Gordon is going to be on bye. You've got Frank Gore on bye. You have the just pitiful committee of running backs in San Francisco. You can go ahead and pick up Matt Jones against the Saints. Saints giving Antoine Andrews he had a double-digit performance against the Saints. Matt Jones could be in for a nice, at least 10-point performance against the Saints, who like to give up points to the running back. If you're looking for a tight end this week, a guy you can pick up, he's lower on the list because for the past 2 weeks, the Oakland Raiders are proving me wrong in saying they can finally stop the tight end position. But Kyle Rudolph going up against, like I said, the Raiders, owned in 22.8% of ESPN fantasy leagues. And this is a guy, even if Teddy Bridgewater doesn't start after suffering that dirty, rough, reckless, however you want to describe it, hit from LaMarcus Joyner. Even if he doesn't play, Rudolph could be a big target in this game, especially against the Raiders, who have been known to give up some good points to the tight end position. And number 3, if you're looking for a wide receiver, you can go ahead and pick up Nate Washington, 38.8% of ESPN fantasy leagues. Coming off the bye, had a good week coming into the bye. Here's the only thing I don't like about Nate Washington. He's going up against the Bengals. Bengals have a pretty good defense. Bengals are a pretty good team. However, if you need a wide receiver, you're kind of handcuffed here. Nate Washington looks like he's getting a few more targets in this Houston Texans system. I'd go ahead and pick him up. Make sure he's in your lineup, because if you have a wide receiver like a T.Y. Hilton, like I do, that's on bye, you may need to say, hey, you know what, I got to bite the bullet and get a receiver like Nate Washington just so I have someone in my starting lineup. Then the last 2 guys are quarterbacks. Maybe you have a Phillip Rivers and Andrew Luck. Maybe you have Blaine Gabbert. Maybe you're in a deeper league. But number 2, I'm going to go with Matt Castle going up against the Buccaneers. And I know what you're saying, but Ricky, Eli didn't have a great game. Why would I go with Matt Castle? 1, Tampa Bay likes to give up points to the quarterback. Eli was the exception. Number 2, Matt Castle had a pretty good game last week against the Eagles. Could be things to come. Hey, maybe even Cole Beasley is going to be a bigger target with Des Bryant coming back from injury. I don't know. All I know is that Matt Castle, if you need a quarterback, could be a guy to look to. He's only owned in 3.1% of ESPN leagues, so there's a huge chance that he's in your league. He's available in your league, and you can pick him up. And at number 1, the other quarterback from the Sunday night game, Sam Bradford, going up against the Dolphins. The Dolphins last week, giving the Bills a pretty good performance. Look at what Tom Brady, I know, guys, it's Tom Brady. But look at what he did against the Dolphins. Sam Bradford looked good last night with the Eagles, had a good fantasy performance in the win, owned in 36 on the dot, 36% exact in ESPN leagues. If you need a quarterback, like I said, you got Andrew Luck, you got Phillip Rivers this week. Go ahead and get Sam Bradford. You won't have a bad time. The 2 quarterbacks at the top, they're going up against teams that, if they can find their wide receivers, they get a pretty good job this week and help you win your league, especially if you've got one of those big guys on the bye. But that is going to do it for my pickups this week in fantasy football for week number 10. Go ahead, tell me down below in the comment section, what do you think of my pickups? Who did I leave out? Because, of course, like I say every week, I can only put 5 of these guys in the rankings. Go ahead, let me know down below. Or if you have a fantasy question, hit me up on Twitter. My link's right up there. I love answering your fantasy questions to help you guys win your fantasy football league each and every week. Stay tuned. I'll have my sleepers, sits, and must starts to come later in the week. But as always, have a good day, everybody.